Would you like to learn from those that are taking their lives, their businesses, and their passions to the next level? Best-selling author of Speakeasy and master connector Lou Diamond is here to connect you to some of the most inspiring and amazing people on this planet. Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
Welcome, everyone, to another amazing episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond, and I have a question for you, listeners and viewers. How brave are you? Today, we have a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, keynote speaker, and an expert in the science of bravery. She combines evidence-based research with real-world experience to help individuals and teams embrace courage, push limits, and achieve greater performance and well-being. Thrive Loud listeners, let's all be brave today as I bring you Jill Schulman. Jill, welcome to Thrive Loud.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I think you've got one hell of a story. I could tell it, but that wouldn't be nearly as interesting. Here's what I want you to do for our listeners, Jill. This is a pretty cool thing, this whole science of bravery, but I want to kind of understand how this became your gig.
I really had the light bulb moment when I was studying positive psychology. So positive psychology is the actual study of elevating happiness and well-being. And as I was studying it, I realized what are one of the blockers, based on the research that prevent people from living their best life. And that is fear. Fear has so much power and control over us. Like people they want to start a new career. They want to have a conversation with someone. They want to solve a problem. There's so many things that people want to do, but they're paralyzed by fear. And usually on the other side of that fear is something they really want. So that is what led me to, take a deep dive into studying what are the things that we know with scientific certainty actually help people build bravery. So bravery is something that you're not just born with bravery. Anyone can build bravery. So that I was very fascinated in. And then, of course, if you look in my background, I just realized as I was doing the research, my experience from my past, including as a Marine, really validated, I guess, what the research said. And I can tell one story. It's not like I joined the Marine Corps and then the day I landed or the day that I arrived, I was super brave. When I left Minnesota, so I grew up in small town Minnesota, and then I was going to San Diego to start my journey to become a Marine. And I went the college route first. So I was reporting into my college unit, but this is Marine Corps Naval ROTC. I did not look like the picture of bravery. In fact, I looked a little bit ridiculous. I realize this now. I put a lot of thought into my outfit because that's what 18-year-old girls do. And I showed up in a hot pink silk short outfit with white polka dots and little pink pumps and perfectly manicured nails to match. So I basically look like a stunt double from Legally Blonde. Now imagine that, and then imagine anything you think of the Marine Corps and like screaming drill sergeants, and you get the picture of what my first day was like. So I realized I had a lot of room to grow, and my first day was not easy. This is probably not a surprise showing up this way, that I had the most respected guy Marine came up to me and said, "You'll never make it as a Marine." Right. And so, but you know what, here's what I learned that relates to bravery. Like in that moment, I had to choose, do I keep showing up? I could have gone back home to Minnesota. I could have gone to college there. That would have been the comfortable, easy path. Or am I going to stay there and face this adversity and this fear? And I was definitely scared. So I kept showing up. It got worse on day 2 because then we went for a run. Do you know how hilly Southern California is? I was training to run on the flat plains of Minnesota. So on day 2, I couldn't keep up in the run. So it was more shameful. But what I've learned in the research about bravery is built over time when you take those little steps. And that's what builds the self-confidence and the bravery. So for me, it's like day in and day out, I chose to do the uncomfortable thing and show up and do what I was scared of. And then over time, my confidence emerged. By the time I graduated and I was leading Marines, I was ready to be brave and to lead my platoon.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for your service. Second of all, I think it would be pretty evident that maybe you were brave wearing that outfit the first day that you started. Uh, but I also want to make this comment. I think you're saying something that's in there. Inside of us, we had that decision to go home or to move forward. And I always say what this show is about with Thrive Loud are those that move onward and upward, which is what thriving is all about. I guess I'm going to ask this question. You say we're not born with it, but we probably have something inside of us that we have to tap into that enables us to make us be the one to step forward and do that and embrace the courage. So is it something we have inside of us, or is it a muscle we continually need to work?
So we all have the potential to be brave. There's ways that we can tap into that potential and make it come out. And I love using the analogy of a muscle. Like everyone has an ability to be strong and like lift heavy weights if they want to. Some people are born a little bit like maybe a little bit more muscular, than others. They might have it naturally, but anyone with a body can become stronger if they put in the work. So bravery is the same way. And I love that you talked about it's a decision to go upward and onward. So the definition of bravery is voluntary action in the presence of fear toward a worthwhile or noble goal. So you're right. It's all about it's this little decision each day that we take. Like, do we decide to be brave, take a step forward in the presence of fear? So fear is part of the deal. So it's doing it scared. Or what is the opposite of stepping forward? If you're not onward and upward, you're stepping back, which is another word is cowering. So we have these decisions and they're not like in life-saving moments anymore, right? They're these little moments of bravery. Like, do I raise my hand and share my idea in a meeting? Do I have the tough conversation with the other guy at work that we have a lot of problems here? Do I put my name in for the promotion? So there's lots of little moments and there's a compound effect of bravery. Like if you're always stepping back, then you become weaker and less able to be brave. So that's why I love the analogy of like a muscle. If you just laid around on your butt all day and you were just binging Netflix or gaming and never moving your body, what happens to your body?
Withers away, baby.
It withers away. And the same thing happens with bravery. So like we got to put in the work, right? And anyone has the potential, but sometimes it's hard because, this is based on evolutionary psychology. So I sometimes nerd out a little bit, but what we know about fear is a lot of times the amygdala takes over. And when you experience fear, like you just run the other way because that's what we're born to do. And that used to keep us alive, right? If it was a saber-toothed tiger, if it is the edge of a cliff, when we feel fear, we do run the other way and that causes us to survive. But as we've evolved and now everything is relatively safe, the fears that we experience now are usually social fears. Like I'm afraid of being embarrassed or fear of failure, fear of rejection. And so now we have to kind of retrain our brain to be like, this is not fear we should run away from. This is fear we should run toward.
I think we know that if we live each day being brave, flexing that muscle, moving forward, we know that we're going to be more confident in what we deliver, provide success, show the leadership that's out there. I think we all know that, I don't need to quell like what are the benefits of being brave. I think we understand what it means. I guess the question is, for those that are working on that each day, how do we continue to work on being braver than we already are from day one to the next day? What is it that leaders, top performers, each individual who's listening to this program can do to say, I know I got to be brave, but what can I do to be even more brave?
Yeah. Like, how can we become braver? Yeah. I'm so glad you asked that. So there's really 3 different ways. One is based on cognitive psychology. I call it the warrior mindset. So it's basically how we can we reframe fear? So in order to become braver, like when something scares you, right? How can we reframe it? So we say like, okay, I'm really scared to do this. I'm really scared to get up in front of this group of people to like pitch my idea or whatever, like whatever you're scared of. But let's reframe it as this is my body preparing me to perform at my best because it's really important. So when I fear something, this is something important. It's a sign I should move forward. So if someone wants to become braver, I would say, I want people to be on a lookout of like, what is the next goal that scares you a little in a big way? and go after that. So I really want people to seek discomfort. You know, in the Marine Corps, we have this little saying. We say, embrace the suck. You ever heard of that?
Yes, I have. I love that.
So embrace the suck. So whenever I'm doing keynotes, we talk about it, but then we get into like why that's something we should seek. You know, when we seek challenges of things that we really want, again, like these are self-concordant goals or things that we really want that are going to be challenging, you know, our strength is forged in the struggle. We become stronger when we challenge ourselves and we're fearful, but then it works out. So the only path to our growth, our development, I mean, human beings are made to strive, right? So we should always be like looking for the next thing to become braver. So that's the cognitive side. And then just one thing on the behavioral side is a lot of us naturally wake up in the morning and we put off the hard thing. So we just start with the easy thing. So this is a very simple technique, but do the hardest thing first thing in the morning. It's based on Roy Baumeister's research. We have limited cognitive resources or willpower. So basically willpower and motivation is kind of like overrated. So when you wake up in the morning, know what is the thing that I need to do this morning that I'm fearful of or that I don't want to do, that I'm uncomfortable. And if you do it first thing in the morning, you've got the best chance of doing it. And then you feel great afterwards. So it's a little short. It's like a little trade-off. Like, oh, I really don't want to go to the gym right now. But if I get up and get to the gym, how do you feel when you're leaving the gym?
Oh, you feel awesome.
You feel amazing. So we train people to like, don't wait. I think that's a mistake. Like people just wait. Well, I just wasn't motivated. Well, I don't really care if you felt motivated. Is this important to you? Like you've got to take action consistently. And when people start learning to do that in the morning, it becomes a habit. And then just the last thing to become braver is hang out with brave people. So who you associate with affects your behavior. So make sure that you're hanging out with people. Let's say you have this brave goal to accomplish something. Try to seek out people who have done that hard thing that you're seeking to do. And if that is your circle of people, when you get frustrated and need help, they're going to be there to help you. Or if you're ready to tap out, they're going to say, get up and try again. So that's one easy way to become braver is just make sure that your circle are the people accomplishing the hard things that you want to, because it'll dramatically improve your chances of actually getting those things done.
Jill, I once heard a message from, I think, a fellow Marine that the first thing I'm supposed to do when I get out of the morning is to make my bed. But so you could at least accomplish a thing. Famous speech from
Yep, I love that
one
too.
Yeah. I think this is an interesting segue here. You made a great comment. You're always supposed to embrace the suck and get into those unfamiliar places. From somebody who obviously is a Marine, is a leader, has studied this particular thing. Writing a book might have been out of comfort zone. Talk about embracing the suck when it came down to saying, I got to face this. I want to be brave and actually putting this mindset that you've been working on into a message for all of us to read.
Yeah. I mean, I must just be like an open book here as you're seeing deep into my soul. That was one of the scariest things I did, is to write a book. And I had, I planned everything. I'm writing on bravery. So I have to I got to tap into the research that I'm presenting in the book. But I remember whenever I tried to write, I tried to do it early in the morning, but I was having writer's block. It wasn't coming out. And thank goodness I surrounded myself with what I call a brave tribe of other people who are successful authors that could help me. And so when I was really struggling, what we should do is call the people in our brave tribe. And so I remember having a conversation with Ken Blanchard, who wrote the foreword to my book, and just talking to him. And this is the magic of having a brave tribe. Is I was sharing with him, I'm just really stuck. It's just not coming out. I don't know if I can do this. So I'm having these self-limiting beliefs. And so Ken says to me, he goes, oh yeah, that same thing happened to me. I go, wait a second. You're Ken Blanchard with how many? 48 New York Times bestselling books. How is that possible? He goes, yeah, when I was first starting, it happened to me too. And what did that do? It made me feel okay, this is normal, right? Where I think that's where a lot of times people think they try something new and they fail initially, or it's harder than they thought, and go okay, I'm just not cut out to do this. So when you're going through the struggle there, it's just you going through the learning process. So when Ken said that, I just realized, okay, I'm exactly where I need to go. He also gave me a really great hint. He goes, Jill, when you talk about bravery, it just flows out of your mouth. Have you ever thought about dictation? He goes, that's how I wrote all my books. And that was the hint I needed. So yeah, if you surround yourself with the right people, it can help you when you're going through the struggle. And that's why I say embrace the suck, or just realize that when you're stuck or you're struggling, that's when growth is happening, right? And getting through those hard times, like those are the best moments we look back on and go like, remember that challenge we had and I got through it? Like, oh God, I learned so much.
I say this to the content creators I get on the show, lots of authors, lots of podcasters, keynote speakers, etc. There's a gift that you give in creating the content that you get to share with the world. Your book, your message, being a guest here on the podcast, every time you step on a stage, everybody benefits from what you're able to give. But there's this amazing happy accident that happens that by putting this gift out to the universe, somehow a gift comes back to the content creator, his or herself. Jill, I would love to know what was the gift in you putting together this incredible Brave initiative?
Well, I think sometimes we study and write about what we need for ourselves, right? So I got to tell you the story. I haven't shared this on a podcast before, but so now I'm speaking on big stages as a keynote speaker, and obviously I'm an author. Let me take you back. The very first job I had out of the Marine Corps, I was working in sales in the pharmaceutical industry. And I was at my very first meeting I had ever been to, like thousands of people sales meeting. And there was this keynote speaker that had this compelling message. And I still remember his name was Keith Harrell. And he taught me attitude is everything. And every time when someone asks him how he's doing, he says he's super fantastic. I do that every single day to this day. He had such a powerful message. And when I think I was 27 years old when I experienced that. And in that moment, I said, I want to do that. I want to bring my message. I want to have an impact like he does. Now, I'm now 51 years old. So when I studied bravery and I started sharing it, what comes back to me is now I'm living bravery is like going after what you really want. Like I've always wanted to be a bigger keynote speaker, but sometimes good gets in the way of great. I had a good career going. Like I had my own leadership development company. I'm doing very good work. I'm doing good work, right? So sometimes you have a good thing going, and that sometimes prevents you from pursuing what could be great. Yeah. So this whole process made me go, I've always wanted to do this. And then I think of in service to my message, if I really care about the science of bravery, helping as many people as possible, because they're not only going to be more successful, they're going to actually have higher levels of life satisfaction. I know that based on the science. Like I can't just keep doing the same thing I've done before, even though it's good and it's stable. So that is the gift. I am living my model. I am doing everything I've been super scared of. I celebrated my book launch by jumping out of an airplane. I said I would never do that. So yeah, it really has been fantastic how it's given me the courage to go after my dreams.
I love it. Let's do the admin part of the show before we go to Fun Street. Jill, share with the listeners all the places that people can find you.
Oh, thank you. Well, the best place for your audience to go is please just go to my website, which is jillschulman.com, because I have freebies on there and you want to get some freebies right away. If you go on my website, you can take a free bravery assessment. So you get your own assessment and 4 different areas. So you get your own personalized assessment on bravery. And then you also get to download what I call a bravery blueprint. So it teaches you the basics and gives you psychologically evidence-based like exercises you can do to build your bravery muscles. So I just give that away to everyone because I want everyone to learn to be brave. Anyone can be brave. If you feel like it's just not me, yes, just please go to my website and try it and then let me know how it goes. So probably the best place to go. And you can also find me on all the other platforms. I mainly work with organizations. So LinkedIn, if anyone has a LinkedIn profile, please find me on LinkedIn. It's just Jill Schulman, but I'm also getting out of my comfort zone, being brave. And now I'm on Instagram, Facebook, all of those. So if you just look up the Bravery Factor, Jill Schulman, you'll find me there.
Well, most people will find you from all the social promotions we will do from this episode as they're hearing this. So hopefully that is the good way to connect. And I'm excited to continue the conversation here. Are you ready? You know what? Let's get a little brave. Is Jill Schulman ready to go down Fun Street with
Oh
Here
gosh,
Loud?
I'm a little nervous, but what Bravery's doing it scared, so let's go.
All right, let's ease into this a little bit. I'm not going to make you jump out of the plane. Maybe I'll do the easy thing first, although I could flip it around. But we'll go with this. Does Jill Schulman have an all-time favorite movie?
Ooh, yes. My all-time favorite movie is Avatar, the original.
And why does that movie connect with you?
You know, the main character is a former Marine, so maybe that's it. You know what I just loved about it? It's that, him overcoming, him becoming the hero. And I also love nature. I love hiking. I love nature. So if you've seen the movie, like they really talk about this planet and having like this mother tree, and I'm obsessed with trees. Like I take pictures of trees. I love trees. So I loved how the interconnected like nature in the movie, because I usually don't even like sci-fi. I don't like sci-fi, but for some reason I just loved Avatar. And I've actually watched the movie like 7 times, and I don't usually watch a movie twice. So yeah.
And that's a long one to watch. They have a whole new ongoing series with it. I know it's going on for who knows how many more years, but it's an awesome.
I didn't like the second one, the Aqua one. I didn't like it as much. It felt like kind of the same one as the last one, but it was pretty cool.
It's I do like the connection though to nature, and that we're all one, and that was like a power.
And the respect for nature, right? And it's almost like them killing nature and the environment and how symbiotic it is. And so he wasn't just saving the people, but he was saving, the environment.
A lot of parallels to what is
going on here?
As they used to say, what the white man has done to the world in the new world, right, was a big thing that had happened back in the day, and it's still true today. So
yeah.
All right, we're gonna continue on this flow. We're gonna call it the Speakeasy Pub Crawl. We're gonna stop at all of Jill's favorite places, and you're gonna have lots of answers to toast to. Here we go. Of late, a song that you love to listen to, or one that pumps you up.
I don't want to sing it. I'm trying to think of.
You don't know.
This is my fight song.
Okay,
Dun, dun, dun. What is that one?
That's Fight Song.
Is it just called Fight Song? Like that one gets me
Yeah.
stirred up. Yeah, like if I'm right, like I love that one. And I can't believe I sang to an audience that could go everywhere. Like that I should not have done. That was brave.
This is what it's about. We're talking to the Brave pub, the Brave Speakeasy Pub Crawl. Favorite food that is not a dessert?
Ooh, I absolutely love Brussels sprouts. It's my new obsession. Like if you had them in amazing restaurants, like when you fry anything, but like Brussels sprouts with like bacon and some balsamic glaze. I love, but I only love really well done Brussels sprouts. Like I don't want steamed ones, but when they're like fried and a little bit sweet, love them. It's my new obsession.
One of the most unbelievably engaging, this goes back to when we had Twitter, tweets that I've ever done. This is years ago. I literally said Brussels sprouts, yay or nay. I've never seen more engagement on it. So many opinionated thing. And by the way, I could have drawn a line straight down the middle, 50-50 as to
really
whether it was, and it was fascinating to me. I was like, it's like such a thing that everybody wanted to jump into the conversation. Do they like them or not? I happen to love them.
It's a love-hate. Either you love them or you hate them. Yeah.
What's Jill Schulman's favorite dessert?
Ooh, I love like a peach cobbler. Like I like fruity. I know some people like chocolate. So for me, I like tart with the crust warm with some really good vanilla ice cream. There is nothing more delicious to me than like a peach cobbler or a peach pie with a crust.
I just came from pie heaven out in the New York area over the summer. Some of the most amazing stuff, incredible stuff. Anyway, I'm with you on that. I'm a big pie person. Okay, an activity you wish you did more of?
Hiking out in nature, like climbing mountains, and just more time just out hiking the most beautiful places in the world.
An activity you wish you did less of?
Answering emails.
Totally answer.
Like, you know what, in order to do the work that I do, there's so many behind the scenes things that you have to do in order to get the message out. So I wish I didn't have to do quite as much of that stuff. But you know what? It's part of the game.
A new activity, one you've recently tried, you like so much, you want to tell all the listeners and viewers to try.
Okay. I got to go back to the skydiving.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
I don't.
why would anyone want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane? That's what I always said. And I'm like, if I'm the bravery expert, I have to do what scares me. So I was kind of excited all day, and I was going up, and it wasn't too bad. And then they opened up the door, and complete terror. And then jumping out, I was the first one to jump out, and it was tandem. And he asked me if we wanted to do flips. And for some reason on the ground, I said yes. The first 2 seconds was absolutely terrifying. But then after that, it was so calm and serene and beautiful. And now I want to do it again. And that is one thing about bravery. Like, you take the thing that you're really scared of, and after you do it and you survive, and you're like, wow, now it's less scary. I'm still scared of it, but now I'm only a little scared of it, and I can't wait to do it again. So I think everyone should jump out of an airplane.
I always think of the late George H.W. Bush. He jumped out of a plane at 80 and at 90 to celebrate both birthdays. Pretty impressive stuff.
That's pretty awesome. Yep.
Yeah. If I could snap my fingers and Jill Schulman could be anywhere in the world, where is she?
Paris.
Like it. Have you been?
Yes, I've been 3 times, and I think it is such a magnificent city. I absolutely love it for so many reasons. So, yeah, love Paris.
Jill Schulman, everybody check her out. She's all about being brave, and go check out her books, her links, and everything that's here. Hey, pleasure to have you on the show. Again, thank you for your service and everything that you've done in this world, but continue to do and keep getting that message out there. We all need to be a little braver each day.
We do. Thanks for having me.
You got it. To all our listeners and viewers out there, thank you for joining us. Till next time, keep moving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud. And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.